So now we have the slicers, and I'm working as expected, right? So we have this one affecting just the first table here, as you can see. Then this one affecting the second table, right? The second set of tables, rather. Then the little issue we have now before we proceed is that there is this extra button here which says blank, and this is really not needed, given that if I click on it now, you see that it just return a blank table. Like, it doesn't add anything to it. It only makes our data look kind of messy. So I need to turn that off. And how can I achieve that? I can simply click on the slicer, right click on the slicer, then I can go to slicer setting. Then here you find this option that says hide items with no data, right? If you check it, okay, so that takes it out, right? So we now have just the ones with data. You will see that we still have the same issue here. If I expand this, you will see that blank of that. Do the same thing here. Then uncheck, check rather. Then that removes it. Then right click here, the same thing here. So you need to do it for your slicers whenever you see such an issue. So we've done that. This one is already handled, right? So we have made some progress so far looking at our reference dashboard, which is this one. So we now have this, we have the slicer, we have the cards, right? Like the data that they will return, not the actual design. Then we have this other set of slicers, this one and this one. Then we have this table, this table, this table, and this table. So what is more? What's left now is we need to have this other slicer. There are three, 1, 2, and 3. Then the charts, right? We've not yet created the charts. We need to have them, add them. And how can I do that? Let me create the charts first, right? Let's go there and see how to do that. This very chart is showing the year, right? Breakdown of sales by year. And we can also see the trend line, the price, as it varies with the sales, right? Sales amount. Then this one is showing breakdown of sales by region, right? Breakdown of sales by region or state. Yeah, I guess state rather. So let's quickly create such. Let's quickly create that. So I go back to the pivot tables, and then to create a chart is easy. Remember, we already pulled out this data here so that we'll have the flexibility to customize. Now the first table is showing us a breakdown of sales by year and quarter, right? So and it's a column chart. There are two charts here. The one in dark bars is a column chart. Then the one in orange line chart or here is the price, as you can see here, right? So let's quickly do that. So what do we do? How do we achieve that? We can achieve that by going to the table of interest. So this is a table of interest. Or we need to create let's create a kind of you can follow any method you want, right? You can choose to create them from here, but the fact that we want to apply their own filters, we want the filters to affect those charts alone, then we need to create their own pivot table, right? And you already know how to create pivot table. So I quickly go to the source data, which is this. I select all, then insert, go to pivot table to insert the pivot table existing, then I select the worksheet, then where to place that here, Okay, so I now have the pivot table, right? And I would want to see the sales value in the value field, right? Sales, drag it to the value field. Then I would also want to see what is that again? Um, the year, right? Breakdown of sales by year and then all that. So where is our year? I can get year from the order date. So I will drag it to, let me bring it to column, to row rather, to not change anything. Then I remove the order date to retain years and then quarters, right? So if I click here, let me quickly expand, unselect the ones I don't want. I don't need this one. I don't need this one as well. But I need for all the years. Want to see the chart for all the years. Then you could see now that here, if I click on this plus button, it expands to show me breakdown of the sales by year. So for each year, we have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, right? But now, why is it showing in this form? Someone would want to see the whole data without needing to click into this, right? How can I make that happen? I'll simply click on this, then I can now go to design, right? Click on any place on the um, within the pivot table, go to design. Then in design, you can select table format, right? Sorry, yes, you can. Is that again? Yeah, you can under report layout, you can show it in tabular form, right? So what that helped us achieve is that we now have quarters as forming their own column, unlike before. If I do Control Z, you can see what it was like before. There were just two columns here, row label and then sum of sales, right? Then inside each year we have the quarters, but by changing that to tabular form, we have years, quarters, and sum of sales, right? This is what we want, and this is what will help us achieve that table. Now, just like we did before, okay, let me turn off this grand total as we don't need that. Pivot table analyze, sorry, design rather. Then go to grand total, then turn off for rows and columns. So that takes it out. I will quickly pull out this data here, right? So I'll come here and do here, then um, quarter and then sales, right? So let me pull out this data. So equal to, this is cell B76, B76, watch it selected as I type, right? That picks up this data. Then I can simply drag down, okay, right? But this brings up these zeros. I don't need that. So let me quickly call this one too. Let me just call them that since they are not much. It's 80. I'll cell equal to this B80, right? That selects it. Then B84. Then finally B88. Okay, so we have this now. What next? We need to bring these ones here, like this, and so on. So I can quickly say equal to C, this is C76, C76, right? Then equal to C77, right? I would need to get up to 3 samples because C78, right? Then let me quickly drag down. Let's see if I will see the pattern. Yeah, so you could see now what happened was that I've shown Excel the pattern to follow. That in the first cell, it came and picked this one. Second cell, pick this one. So the pattern here is that just for the same column, keep incrementing the row number by one after I join. So I drag down, and then because I connected this with formula, whenever there's a change here, then it would definitely reflect here without me needing to do it manually, right? So the next thing is to bring the value for this one. Let me see if Excel has seen the pattern. Let's see if we can replicate that here. Drag this one, yes, it's smart enough. Then I can now drag this one down. You can double tap, right? How to do that is come to Excel now. I mean, come to the cell you are interested in. Now you could see that when I bring my cursor close to this box, there's a kind of a rectangle here or a square here. If you watch very closely here, when I take this cursor to that place, currently showing as a cross, right, with a white field, right? So when I take it back, it changes. When I take it close to that, it changes to black, right? Then I can double click and then it pulls the data down. So sometimes the reason why it may not function correctly is that maybe it has not seen enough a pattern. It has not, so it's not able to recognize any pattern yet. But in our case, that solves it. So with this now, I can go on to create the chart, right? And what do I need to create that chart? I need these three columns, right? Okay, let's create the first one first. The first one is showing sales by year, right? Sales by year, right? So let me select that, or let me select that. I'll quickly select this, or I can even select all, right? Then what do I do? Insert. Then these are the chart options. Under charts, right? You group your charts. You'll see different chart options that apply. We already had a session on choosing the right chart type, right? So I can select this, which is clustered column. Selecting that gives me this, right? You could see now we now have the year here. Then we now have the quarter for each year, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and so on. Then we now have the sales forming the column, right? The sales value. So if you wrongly selected the data, you can easily edit it. Just come to the chart area. You can right click, rather, take it back. Click on the chart area, right click. When you right click, you can navigate to any section here, different sections of the chart. You have the chart area, chart title. If I click here, you see that the chart title is selected, just like you could see it selected here. So let me go back again and show that very quickly. Currently selected the chart area, but if I want to select this chart title, I can just click on chart title to select, and then I can do whatever I want to do here. But for now, we are not getting that. So I now have the chart, right? But then we don't yet have this profit. Like you can see here, we don't have profit yet, which is this line, right? So I would quickly do that one. So quickly do that. I can do that by bringing in profit, right? I'll need to go back to the pivot table. I'll need to go back to the pivot table to bring the field for profit. So I can also bring profit, I can quickly bring profit and add it to the to the sum of the value field rather. So where is profit? Take profit here. Yeah, we now have that for profit. So I'll need to let me create a little space here. Let me just create a space here to not overlap. So click on insert, shift cells right. Let me shift cells right. Oh, sorry, this is not what I want. Um, okay, let me just quickly copy this. It will not affect anything. I need to cut it. Let me remove it from here because I need some space so I can paste here, right? You will see that the formula will still be intact. The formula is still showing C76, right? So nothing will happen, nothing will affect it. To come out of that. Yeah. So the next thing now is we need to add this profit to our visualization, right? So how do I achieve that? That very quickly. Okay. So the next thing to add that, currently the chart here is showing now what you see here now is this column is if I click here on this and this chart, this icon here, right? You're going to see some options here, some additional options here. I can see if I want to enable legend, is it showing legend as you can see here, but I need to turn it off for now because it's not giving us any useful information. I can even add trend lines if I want, or error bar, or even a data table, right? You can see the actual underlying values here for our data, right? But I don't need that as well. Data level, as you can see. So why I'm doing this is that we have axis here. Currently, we have primary and secondary axis. Currently, the chart is plotted on the primary axis. That's the sales. The bar you are seeing here is plotted on the primary axis, right? As you can see. But then we still have another one. We have primary vertical, primary horizontal, right? But then we still have other axes like secondary axis, right? So that means we can still make another plot here that overlays on this one, and we need this one to do that. So how do I do that? I can click on this chart area, right click, and then I can go to select data. And then here, sales is showing me the series. The series is the actual numerical data we are interested in. Then horizontal, this one is containing information that you see on the horizontal line here, which is the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 years, right? But then the sales value is the one showing in this vertical axis. So I need to add that. I need to add data to that so that we can now have two values, two data plotted in the horizontal and in the vertical. How do I do that? I click on add. Then it asks me the name of the column. I can choose to type it in directly, but oh, sorry, before we do that, we need to bring this one here, just like we did for these other ones. We need to call them in to this cell, right? So let me quickly profit, right? Let me see if I can just quickly pull this. Yes, I can simply pull that, then drag down. Yes, so I now have this data. So I can go back here, click on this chart area, select data. Then to add a series, right? Click on add. I can call it, I can type it in directly, but I want to make it dynamic such that if I change my mind and change this to something else, then it will update, it will just update automatically. So I can click on this, let me click on this and then select this, right? So whatever the name of this column is, then they now asks me to enter the series value, right? So this is where I now enter the main value. I can now come here and then select this data, right? So these are the series values. Right now, you can see the red columns here, the red bars here, right? Those are representing the sales value, the profit. But this is not exactly how we want it to appear. We want it to appear like this, like a line chart, as you can see here, the orange line chart. So how do I do that? We can achieve that by simply going back here. Let's go back here. Click on the okay, let's select okay, this is a chart area, right? Okay, so I can right now I have selected that. As you can see, these are the ones selected, right? So let me, oh, that takes it out. Can be tricky sometimes. Let's see. I'll go back. Profit. Change series chart type. Then what do I do? I can make one of them a secondary axis, right? For now, none is showing both are still showing in the as primary axis, but then I need to make one of them secondary axis. So this one, which is profit, is I check it as a secondary axis, right? So as you can see now, it's changed. It changed. Then what next do I need to do? I need to change the chart type from clustered column to whichever other chart type I can use here. I have all the options here to play with. Let me select this one. Yeah. Or you can as well pick anyone you want to change, make much difference, right? So let me go with this one. This one with marker, just exactly the same with one we have before. Then I can click OK. So you can now see my chart now showing like this. This now the same with this one. It's exactly the same. The reason it's not looking exactly the same is that the filter options, there are some filters applied here that make them look different. So let me quickly remove all the filters here to show clear filter from segments. Yeah, so you can see that they are very similar, right? And then you also remember that, like I mentioned initially, there are some filters I needed to apply to this new design, right? Like I did not discount for returned order, so they might look a bit different. This very one is not showing, it's not reflecting the actual thing, but just for demonstration purpose. So what is the other thing we need to do? We need to add a column. Let's add a column, I mean the label to the column. Or before I do that, let me create the second chart, right? To create the second chart, very easy. I'll quickly do that. Just follow the same, similar steps like before. Or you can even, the second one is a breakdown of sales by state, right? This one is showing different states, then sales value. That is top 10, top N states, right? I can choose to, okay, I have so many to change here. So let me just quickly create a new one. Let me go back to orders, the data, insert a new pivot table, go here, then existing, select this, then add it here, right? And now go and then drag the sales value, which is the main data point of interest. As usual, bring it to the values field. Then I want to see the states. Where are the states? Okay, states here. I can drag states to rows to form the rows or column, whichever one. But I don't want to show everything. You can see I have a long list here. I want to see the top 10 by sales value, right? So I would quickly do that here. Select this, click on this apply filter, or you can quickly just come here and do that very quickly. Then you can select value filters, go to top 10, right? Top 10 by sum of sales, right? Yeah, that was selected automatically. So you can even change it to bottom 10 or top 20, whichever one. And if you have more than one this thing, you can apply top 10% by sum of sales, top 10, whatever. You just want the top 10 items by sum of sales. So that brings the table down to the top 10. So I'll need to, let me disable this grand total as usual. then go to design, then grand totals, turn it off, goes. Then let me bring this table here as we did before. So I can safely come and call the tables here. For this, I would call, let me call it, this is state. Then this is, then let me merge these two because I have a kind of letters like numerical, so that when we have a state with bigger distance, it can show properly like we did before. Let's merge across. Okay, go here, go to home. Can do that from home. Then merge. Click on this angle icon here. Drop down. Select merge across. So we now have these two columns merged together here. Then let me create another one for sales. Right. So I'll call in the values equal to C96. C96. Then drag down. Yeah, the last value here is Washington. Is the Washington as well. Let me drag this one to here and get the value. Sorry. Okay, let me bring the first one first. So that will be equal to D96. D96, right? I'll drag that one down to, yeah. So I can now plot my chart. And to plot, I can select these two, then go to insert, then once again select the chart I want, then okay, we'll still use this one, right? Now you'll see that I need to make a lot of changes to this one, but why not just copy the first one we created? Let me see. Copy this one. Copy this chart. Since we already did a little bit of formatting here, Control C, Control V, right? Then instead, I can click on here to select data. To change the select data, right? So this series, I need to remove this one because we don't need this. This one as well. Okay, let me first select the column here. Edit. Then label here. I would select this one instead. This one is showing state, right? Okay, then the value here. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This is supposed to show the range rather. So I would see the range I'm supposed to select. Right. So this is it. So it has selected the range. Then I don't need this one. I need to edit. Let me remove these two that I don't need because they are showing from these came from the other table, the other chart I created from that. So I'll remove that. Let me add a new one. The name is equal to what will be the name. Let me select the name to be sales, the same sales. Then the values, the range of the values is from here, like the top 10. Right? Now after mistake. Okay, sorry, the error here is this. Remove this. Okay, click OK. Having done that, I now have this, but you can see that there's a little problem here. The little problem is I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 instead of the actual name. The actual so it means I did not select this range very well. So let me try and do that again. So sorry, not this. It should be this, right? So that shows the names, the actual states, right? As you can see here, I can just, so this I did not need to start applying those formatting again, because I've already done that. Now the other thing we need to do now is we need to also apply slicers that would that we can use to dissect this table, right? This charts, and whatever thing we are applying it at this pivot table level, right? So that whatever thing is happening to this pivot table, right, can affect every other thing you see here. This one and then this one were derived from this. This one gave us this. This one gave us this, right? So if you apply slicer here, then we can. So to apply slicer here, I can just click on any area on the chart, like here, and then I can go to pivot analyze, and then I can see insert slicer. But then a faster way to do that would be just once your pivot table field is open, is enabled, then you can just come here, select the column you want to use as a slicer. In our case, we have this we have the customer segment, which is corporate, home office, and consumer. So that's segment. So I can right click on segment and then add as slicer. Click on that. That creates the slicer for me, which you can see here, right? Then, but then, why not? Okay, well, let's proceed. Right click here. I'll need to remove that blank. So slicer setting. Then hide items with no data. Okay, that solves it. Then I can now change it to add the dimension. That is 3, because there are 3 categories here, right? Then we have this slicer because we built this slicer off of this pivot table, right? It's already connected by default. So as you can see now, if I click here, this is going to update, right? And then this one as well. If I click here too, you would just watch this. Yes, the charts are updating as the slicers are changing. The slicer options are changing, right? So whatever changes here will affect here. Then, having done that, we can do the same for the second chart. Remember, this chart is affected by, okay, we have 3 slicers. So let's see, this one is affecting everything, just like this one affecting everything. Okay, so we're going to get 3 of these slicers and connect them to these 2 tables, the tables that give us the chart. You can turn this off actually, so you can have more space. But if you want to bring it back, just right click on any area of the chart and then click on show field list. That brings it back. But for now, I'm going to turn it off. So we create the second and the third slicers for our chart. Right. Then let me try something. Okay, then the second one, I can still build the same from here. Sorry, let me show field list for now because I need that. Then the other one is customer segment. We've done for customer segment. We want to do for ship mode and then category. So this is ship mode. I think it's up. Yeah, this is ship mode. Right click on ship mode, add as slicer. Then right click on category. Right click, then add as slicer. So I have the 2 slicers here. Let me expand that. So I'll quickly just do the same. Sorry, yeah, turn this off. Then this one too. Let me turn it off. Then what I'm checking this to remove those blank spaces, just like we did before. Then the next thing, let me add the side, change the length, the column. I'll change it to how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 columns. Oh, sorry, this gives me 5, 4. So when I expand, how many columns are actually? There are about 5 columns. So I think I need to increase it, to raise it up to 5. Come here, 5, right? So that gives me up to 5 um, buttons here arranged. Let's see everything. Okay, so with that we need the second column, the second slicer rather, change it to 3. So they are now 3 to represent the different categories that are within, right? So we now have this as well. So we have our 3 slicers now. So what's the next thing to do? The next thing is to do what? I need someone to give us an idea what next to do. Let's see how many of you are in the call. Okay. So the next thing is to connect them to the table. Currently, they are connected to just this first table, but not this one. As you can see, if I click on this, this one is changing, but this one is not. Just like that. So I need to connect them to this table. So for now, let me know the name of this pivot table. This is a pivot table 8. I guess this should be pivot table 7. Pivot table 8, pivot table 7. Okay, I want to connect the slicers to pivot table 8 and 7. Select this one, slicer. Then the port connection, pivot table 8 and 7. 7 is already selected. Then 8. I'll quickly do that for the other slicers. So we have the 3 slicers here, right? So let me quickly arrange them so that okay, so we have our 3 splicers now, and our tables are now responding as expected. Now, at this point, we've gotten all the points, all the data points we need for our main dashboard, right? As you can see now, we have this, we have this, we have this. Yeah. So the remaining part of this tutorial is, for now, just a little brush up, right? I need to give this a title, give this a title, and the rest. Then before now proceed to bringing them to the main dashboard, right? Everything has been about getting the data. The next will now be to bring them to the dashboard, to call them into the dashboard, which we already created here, right? This is the dashboard we just created. We created before now. So I want to give this a title. So how do I do that? I can click on here to add a title, chart title, right? Then it gives me this default, which is chart title. So how do I now edit? I want to give this title a name, but then I want to do something to make it dynamic as well, so that whenever there's a change in the column itself, I don't need to come and do manual updating again. And then we are going to see how to perform a string concatenation, right? To apply a formula that affects strings, text instead of numbers, right? Labeling our charts. Now it's showing as a chart title, and I want to format it as to be like let's say sales. Okay, let's say um what name? Let's say I want to call it sales and profit or whatever. Or as you can see here, actually, this one was not given a title, right? This one was not given a title. So it's assumed that we can infer it from here that it's showing a breakdown of sales by year and then quarter, right? But for this, let's use the example for the second table instead, the second chart instead. We want to create something like top 10 highest sales, right? How do you do that? Let me delete this. Top 10 highest sales. So that even if I change this thing to something else, let's say sales amount, it will now show me top 10 highest sales amount instead of having to come and update it. So string concatenation can be done in this way. Let's say something like my first name is let's say Kenneth, then my second name is Odoh. I mean my last name rather. Now I want to mention my name as I want to make a full sentence like that says my name is my name is my name is Kenneth Odoh, right? We are going to use string concatenation to do that. How do I do that? How can I achieve that? I can start with this. I have the cell that contains my first name, the cell that contains my second name. Then these other ones are going to be constant. My name is, right? From here up to this point is going to be constant. And then take note of um, the white space is there, like this white space I gave here between, as you can see, space, my space, NAME space, IS space, right? The computer is seeing these as actual values, even as they seem like blank to us. So I'll start by formatting. Let's format. I'll start by um, let's say equal to my name is, okay, I think I need to, sorry, I need to put it in equal to, put the quotation mark, then my space, name space is space, then close it, then put and this sign, then what is the next thing? The next thing is this, pick this one, right? Pick this one, then put another and, right? Then open your this quotation mark, I mean, yes, your quotes, then put another space, close it, then put another and, right? Then come and select this cell. That gives us the full sentence. My name is Kenneth Odoh. Now let me quickly explain that. Already you know that to apply a formula in Excel, you start with an equal to, right? You start with an equal to. So that is why we have this. Everything we are seeing, you can see the value here, the equation we just created here, right? So you start with an equal to tell Excel that it's an equation or a formula we want to apply. Then, because this is a text value, right? Text is usually enclosed in quotation marks, right? So you put everything from here, everything from my name. My name is, then this extra space here. They are supposed to. You can see that they are all enclosed in quotation, right? Now you have gotten this as a standalone object. You want to join this with the value in U95. This is cell U95. This one here, which is Kenneth, right? This is cell U95, right? Then that is, you now put and this and ampersand is telling it that you want to concatenate what you have here, all this you have here, this value here, right? So you now put this and, right? Then you now enter the cell value corresponding to the one you want to pick. In our case, U95, or you can just simply come and click on that, right, to select. Then you now continue the concatenation again. This time around, you want to join everything you have gotten so far with another space here. That is going to correspond to the space between H and O here, right? Finally, you come and join again. You want to bring in this one, which is a string as well, equal to. You now use and again, then select the cell that corresponds to that. So we now have U96, and that gives us a full sentence. My name is Kenneth Odo, right? So we're going to use the same logic to give this chart a title. I'll quickly delete this. Now, in our case, I want to give this chart a title like highest sales, highest, okay, top 10 highest sales, right? So what is going to be, what the only thing that can change here, you can see that sales here is corresponding to this column, right? A column in our data, which is this, and it can change. I can decide to change it to something else. I can change it to amount or any other thing. So this is going to change. This can change, but the logic, the other part of this can change, but the other part of the sentence does not need to change, or might not change, or even if it changes, still good. So I want to have something like this. How can I achieve that? Okay, quickly, I already know the cell that contains this value, which is sales, right? So the other thing now is to now come and say, I can put it somewhere here and cover it so that it doesn't show. I can put it somewhere here and put equal to, then open parenthesis, top, then 10 highest, then I put a space, close it, then and then I can now select the cell that contains these sales, right? What do we have? We have top 10 highest sales, right? So I'll delete this one. Now I want to pull this value to this place, right? So how do I do that? How to do that is you now click on this to select. You can see it selected. When I click on it in this way, I have selected it as an object. But when I click into it right now, I can type and change something. That is not what I want. I just want to select the box that contains everything. So I will bring my cursor here and it changes to this. While it's still showing like this, I can click on that. Right, it has selected. You can see the box, the edges showing in blue. Then I start typing my equation, my formula. I now type equal to. Then I select the cell that contains the value I want it to label. Click enter. So that brings it here. Top 10 highest sales. So because we don't really need this, I can just simply drag this here to cover it. Now see what we have just done. Let's say I want to change this value to sales amount. Just watch here what will happen when I click enter. Right, you could see it, top 10 highest sales amount. Right, that's not what we want. So it's now dynamic and you don't need to do it all the time. So I can even make this one bold. Control B. Sorry. Yeah, that makes it. Sorry. I don't want to do everything to be in bold. Come on. Okay. We'll handle that later on. Now, the deed has been done. We have all the elements we need for our dashboard, and the remaining part of the tutorial is now going to focus on bringing them to the main dashboard to have something like this, right? Remember, we already have a layout for the dashboard which we have as the wireframe. So I can quickly Control A, select everything, copy it, Control C, and I cannot go to the dashboard here and paste it. Go to dashboard and paste it. Then just select select the first cell here rather, Control V, then you have it pasted, right? Now I can start with my design. The first thing I would want to bring in here is my logo, right? I would want to bring my logo here. I want it to show here. So how can I do that? I can do that by clicking on Insert, then go to illustrations. Depending on the version of your Excel, you might just see pictures, right? I want to get my logo somewhere from my device. Then let's wait for my file directory to open. I hope I selected the right option. Let me repeat that. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, so we have downloads. I have it in my downloads folder. Then I select that. I know the name I gave to it. Yes, this is it. Bring it here, and I carefully drag it, drag, and center it here. You just have to do that very carefully. So everything we are doing now is down design. I think we've done the most part of analysis. But to make this thing look prettier, let me remove disable these grid lines we see here. I can do that in view. You can see now that here in this reference chart, we don't have all those lines right in the background. So let me turn that off to just give us a blank canvas to work on. Click on view, disable grid lines. Right, you can see it now. Right. So forget about the red, the border, the shading here. We're going to eventually handle that. We can also remove that later on. So this is it. Position it here. Then for the slicer, this is the first slicer, this second slicer. Go back here, and then this time around it's safe now to copy. So I can quickly copy the slicer here. The first one here, this is the first. And then hold the button to select. Control C. Right. But before I do that, let me make sure that no slicer is applied here. So I disable this and then disable this so that you can be seeing the entire value in the other place. Copy, Control C, then go to dashboard, then let's paste them, Control V. I have the two of them here. The first one here is our words again. The first one here is showing the product category. This is the furniture, office supply, and technology. So I will bring that and position it here carefully. Drag this till the end, yeah, like this. I want to disable this thing showing this label here showing category, right? So how do I do that? Click on that, right click, then slicer setting. Then in slicer setting, we can see display header. Turn off display header, right? Display header. Then okay, that takes it out. There's no more header here, right? Cool. So I would quickly brush it up, drag it to fit, adjust. Remember, most things we are doing now are now design, no longer analysis, right? So there are two different skills you need to achieve this. Yeah, I think this is fine, right? So I positioned it well. Then now the turn of this one, the same thing. First of all, let me disable the title, the header. Then come here, disable that. Okay, then bring this here, and then I drag to fit just here, drag this to just here. Okay, drag it, fit it here. Take note of your alignment. I want everything to align like this, right? So I think we've gotten that. So we now have this. I want to make sure that this and this are on the same line. So right now, I'm not sure. I think this one is a bit above the second, the one to the left. So I will quickly select it to click on that, then click the shift key, select the second one. Then I can go to where do I do that? This format. Where is that? You should see format. Yeah. Really, this is not the format I'm looking for. I want to align them. As if I can see the option here. Yes, it should be somewhere here. Yeah, align. Then I can align them at the middle. Yeah. So the center of this is now the center of this. And then somewhat they are kind of somewhat on the same line, right? So with that, we've gotten the slicers, but then we don't have the data yet. What do we do next? We need to call in the values sales year over year. And this one sales this year, sales last year, sales growth. We already have those data points, right? Remember, go back to the rough book. These sorry, these sales this year, sales last year, and then year over year. What changed our? I need to. I need this year and last year. Then year over year growth. Something affected our initial formula. So let me quickly paste this here. Yeah. Call this sales. It's very tiny. 61%. Adjust that so you can see quick. Right. So now sales growth year over year. Right. So I want to bring in those values. This one, and this one to the chart, to the table dashboard, right? So to do that, we know the value, we know the cell containing this cell C5, this cell D5, this cell E5. Now, the background we are seeing here, the dark background we are seeing here is just a shape, right? We need to do that. We need to insert that. Go to the dashboard. Let me first of all show you how to call those values in before we talk about the design. So here I can quickly enter equal to, then select this. You can see that when I type it in, the name of this worksheet appears here in the form. This is called the formula bar. Then I can now enter the cell value that corresponds to the value I want to put. In this case, it's C5. C5. Right. So you can see that the value has been called here 768915, which is the value we have here 768915. Right. So go back. You've seen how to call the value. So go back here. Now let's insert the shape. Go to insert, bring shape. You find it under illustration, or you see shape somewhere around there, depending on the version. And then this is the shape that's closer to what we have. So let's draw the shape from here. I just place it somewhere around the edge. Press down the left arrow, the left keyboard, and drag it to fit here. Right. Drag it to fit here. Then I can customize by removing the border, the outline. I don't need the outline. I'm sorry, where is the outline? This is outline. I don't need the outline. Then for now, let's leave it like this. What else do we need? Let me add some kind of a little bit of styling, right? No, come here, shape format. Let's give it a shadow. Under effects, I can give it a shadow. Or we could give it a soft edge. Which? Okay, let's give it a shadow. This is a shadow. Outer shadow, kind of. Yeah, you can see the shadow around it somewhere here, right? So now the next thing, we need to add a text box to this. Or before we do that, we need to call in the value. We need to call in the value here. Okay, so then this is cell C5. So that brings the value, right? Can I see the value? What did I do? Let me go back. I only selected this. You can see the edge is selected, right? And I came to the formula bar and then typed equal to. Then I now went to clicked on the name of the sheet, the worksheet that contains the data. Then I now enter the cell value C5. C5. Click on enter. Then that shows the value. But it is not yet properly formatted. So the rest is now about formatting it, right? So let's quickly format that to look somewhat like this. You see this one, the value is the predominant thing here, right? Then somewhere at the base here, aligned at the vertical align. So I'll quickly do that. Right click. Or let's see home. Then you can choose to, this is where you play around. Currently it's selected this top align, then I guess left align. So let's, what if we bring it here, center here, bring this one down. Yeah, as you can see now. Then we can increase the font. Let's increase the font size to something around 16. Then let's change the color. Since this is a kind of a dark background, we can't let the font be dark as well. We can make it white, right? And let's make it bold. Then you can see that there are many. This is about how many characters here. We need to reduce this to a certain decimal place, right? So how do we do that? You can do that by formatting the underlying data, right? So you can go to where is the option here? Not format shape. Let's see. Let's select the actual data here, and then I can select the actual data, right? Or number of ways you can approach this. We can do that. Let me do that. Okay, let's see. No, can't see value this thing. Okay, whatever I want to do, let me just do it somewhere here and copy this style here. Clicking on this and select this. I can format this as a, let me go to home and see the, yes, let me select it as convert it to, it's supposed to be currency, right? Currency, right? Of how many decimal place. So imagine I type in, okay, let me remove the styling I just applied and then show you what I'm doing exactly. Let's say I type in 200.333457. As you can see now, I want to format this to show something like 200.3.3. That is one decimal place. So I can just right click. I can come here, go to this, select this, change the data field, right? Change it to currency first of all. You can see the dollar sign next to it. Then I can apply how many decimal place. Where is that? Where is the option for decimal place? Let me see if I can change it directly here. Format cell, you can do it from format cell. Yeah, this gives me more flexibility. Then it's already selected as, now it's showing 4 decimal place. I want to make it just 1. Okay, so it's now showing as 200 point something. I can simply copy this style here. Let's see if it worked though. Not working. Wondering why. Okay, let me find a way around this. Okay. Alright, if that is not showing, maybe let me see if I can change it from the underlying source. I can format this. Let's see if I can format this. Value field setting. I can set it as no, not value field setting. Number format, right? This is it, number format. Yeah, select currency, 2 decimal place. I can even change it to Naira if I want. Currently showing in dollar. But if I scroll down, I can see Naira here. You can pick any value here. Whichever one, I think all of them should work. So if I click OK, you will see that change to 2 decimal place here. But I doubt if that is going to affect here. Okay, well, it worked. Great. Although I need to mention that sometimes when you call in a value from another cell here, the underlying value might differ. So maybe because this one is binded to the shape object, right? You can say I can drag it around. Maybe that's why. Next, I need to give it a title here, which is sales this year. How do I do that? I can insert let me bring in a text box, insert a text box. What's the text box? Where is that? Home. Okay. Could that be this? Yeah, text box here. It can vary depending on the version. So I can now draw my text box. Draw. It doesn't matter. You don't need to get it perfect here. So I can label it sales this year, right? Or you can call it latest sales because our data is backward by how many years? This is 2024, and then data is as up to date as 2017. So we can, but then sales this year infers the latest sales in this instance. So I would need to remove this field, right? I click to remove outline. I don't need any outline. Neither do I need a field color. No field. Yeah, that takes it out. Then change this to white. Change the color of the text white. So I didn't select all of them. Select all. Then right click again. Change it to white. Then the next thing is to ensure that this is somewhere at the center, right? Somewhere here. But there's no way I can be sure of that. So I will select that box. Select this one together. Then I can now go to Let's see if we can find it under shape format. Here under shape format, we can align them at the center. Yeah, you can see that it shifted to the center. Then let's group them together so that I can move them as one object grouped. So you can see I cannot drag this to anywhere and then they are together, right? So I took my time to do this because afterwards I would need to just replicate this, although with some limitations though. I can duplicate Control D. You can see I have a copy of this. Then I need to change this one to point to a different thing. So instead of C5, it should be what? I guess C6 to get the sales last year. Really? What went wrong? Sales. Okay, sorry, it's D6. C6 is this one, which is a blank, whatever. So I need to change it to D6, right? So I'm going. That's D. Click on that. Really? Why is it not showing? You know why? You know why it's not showing up? Okay, maybe I need to type in the. I selected that and type equal to. Go to rough. This is D. Oh, sorry, I keep missing it. It's D5, not D6. D5. Sorry. Equal to rough, then D5. So that shows, but you could see that the formatting is gone. So that's one of the downsides. Because formatting does not affect the underlying. I mean, the formatting is really about what you see, right? Sometimes it does not. When you want to inherit, like in this case now, it may fail. So let me quickly format this. I'll need to reformat it. Let's see. It should be white. Yeah, bold. Yeah, then font 20. Was it 20 or 18? I guess 18 was all we chose. That. Oh, come on. It's too big. Oh, it's not too big. Just that it's formatting both this. Remember, there was a text box here. So that's not what we want to format. This one is font size 11. We need to change this to 11. 11. Oh, come on. Bring it back to 11. Let's bring it back to 11. Take it to 11. I don't need it to be in bold. Oh, I did not select everything actually. Control A to select all. Control A to select all. Right click, take it to 11. Then uncheck this to not make it bold. So I can simply edit this to sales last year instead. Yeah, so I have that. So